Welcome to Emotions and Stories. Sometimes in life we come across strange incidents, and these incidents could be good or bad. So let's find out about one such strange, mysterious happening in our today's story, the Drum of Needs. In the lively town of Rampur, a rusty old drum sat under the shade of an ancient banyan tree near the bustling bus stop. No one knew where it came from or why it was there. For years, it was nothing more than an overlooked piece of junk that was until people started noticing strange occurrences. One warm afternoon, Radha Mosi, who sold the best lemon tea in Rampur, was having a terrible day. Her kettle had cracked, and without it, she couldn't make tea for the weary travelers. Frustrated, she sat down on the bench next to the drum, sighing at her misfortune. Out of sheer boredom, she glanced inside. Her breath caught in her throat. Right there, resting at the bottom of the drum, was a brand new steel kettle, shining as if it had just been bought from the market. With trembling hands, she picked it up, looking around in disbelief. "Oh my God, this is a miracle!" she whispered, her heart pounding. That day, she made the best tea of her life, smiling more than usual. A few days later, Gopal, the town's sneakiest businessman, strolled to the bus stop. He noticed Radha Mosi's shining new kettle and smelled something unusual, an opportunity. He had heard the story of her finding the kettle in the drum, and he decided to try his luck. With a greedy smirk, he walked up and peered into the drum. A thick black ink exploded from the drum, covering his face from forehead to chin. Gopal staggered back, yelping in shock. "Oh God, what is this?" He howled, rubbing his face, but the ink refused to budge. The next morning, when he walked into the market, people burst into laughter. "Gopal, is this a new face paint?" Embarrassed, Gopal hid in his house for a week. By the time ink finally faded, he had learned an important lesson. Greed had consequences. Meanwhile, little Raju, a boy who shined shoes near the bus stop, was having a rough time. His shoes had torn apart, leaving his feet sore and blistered. Watching others with sturdy shoes made his heart sink. One evening, after a long day of work, he sat near the banyan tree, stretching his aching legs. Out of habit, he looked into the drum, not expecting anything. And there, right in front of him, lay a pair of brand new slippers, sturdy, comfortable, and just his size. Tears filled his eyes as he carefully put them on. He folded his hands and whispered, "Thank you, dear drum," before running off, his feet no longer in pain. One evening, a wealthy traveler stopped by Rampur on his way to the city. He overheard some locals whispering about the drum and smirked. "How foolish," he muttered. "A drum that gives gifts? Nonsense." Curious but skeptical, he leaned over and peeked inside. A gush of thick black ink shot up, drenching his entire face and shirt. The travelers shrieked in horror, stumbling back, desperately wiping his face. The people around him erupted in laughter, pointing at his newly inked features. Furious and humiliated, the traveler ran back to the bus, never looking back. That night, the townsfolk laughed about the incident over steaming cups of Radha Mosi's tea. Over time, the town figured out an important truth about the drum. It helped those in genuine need and punished those with greedy black hearts. People who truly needed help found exactly what they required inside the drum. But those who looked inside with selfish motives, without even asking for anything, found themselves covered in dreaded black ink. Word spread, and soon Rampur became a better town. The dishonest and greedy feared the drum, while the honest and kind knew they could trust its magic. Even Gopal, after a few more ink splashes, decided to mend his ways. As for the drum, well, it still sits there near the old banyan tree, waiting and watching. So, the next time you visit Rampur and find yourself in true need, don't hesitate to look inside the drum of needs. Just make sure your heart is clean. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Do let us know in the comments what you think about it. Thank you.